I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to AfterBuzz TV's after show for Rick and Morty, season 4, episode 6. And we are super excited to be here to talk about it. You guys, I'm not alone. I'm your host, Cody Epperson. I'm here with Rob Stiles. Hello.
Hey, what's up?
We also got Nate Miller.
What's up, guys?
Both huge Rick and Morty fans and both real excited to talk about this episode. So yeah, let's first of all, let's get some overall thoughts. Nate, what did you think?
I thought it was great. Really, really well written, as we've come to expect from the show. Lots of good jokes. I also just really appreciate the meta commentary, not only on the show, but also on like the fan base and the way we consume media even. We're all big fans of this show, but I just love how they're able to keep it funny and keep it silly, but also be like smart and have some thought behind the jokes that they're putting out there.
Absolutely. How about you, Rob?
Yes, and I love the way that this episode was able to make fun of itself, make fun of the process, make fun of the people in the at the network who want you to put a certain kind of product out and continuous, snowball avalanche of ideas. And sometimes that's a bit of a problem. And I think we heard we hear the writers here express in this episode, like, hey, we're not an idea factory. And there's only so far we can go without being just crazy or just offensive for no reason, but we're going to bask it in anyway.
Absolutely. I mean, I love this. I binged the entire season, the beginning of the season, like last night and then this morning, because I actually wasn't caught up. So I was super excited to like get all of it in one sitting. And then, because for me, like, it is epic. Like, the show's always been super great, but like now everything is so, it's just like in your face. And so I've got a lot of questions for you guys. And our first topic I do want to get into is this whole thing on meta. Like, they mention it, you guys mentioned it, they mention it in the episode itself, and then even the creators talk about it too. And I just I would like you guys to tell me what that is.
What meta means?
Yeah,
meta is like when you referring to something, when something refers to itself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So if we were doing if we were doing a podcast talking about how to do a podcast, it would get very meta is how you would describe it. I'm sure there's probably a better definition.
Yeah, Rob, if you have anything to add to that.
I think you nailed it, because if you look at a movie, let's say, for example, like an old school movie like Pulp Fiction, where the scene where Mrs. Wallace tells Vincent Vega, hey, don't be a square, and you see a square like form on the actual screen. That's not for any of the characters, that's for you, the audience. And so that's another example of meta. But Nate, I think you described it perfectly, my man.
Yeah, I mean, the definition in the dictionary says referring to itself or the conventions of its genre, or self-referential. So yeah, anything like if you have a written piece of art that talks about writing, it is a very meta.
I do want to jump in here, Rob, because there's a difference between breaking the fourth wall and meta. Because breaking the fourth wall is referencing something for the audience that's outside the spectrum of the TV show itself, and then meta is to reference itself within media. So this show references itself, and then those self-references reference themselves. So that's what we mean by the meta within the meta. And then the joke at the end about breaking the fifth wall is, how do you break the fifth wall? You don't know. It would be like Rick coming out of your TV and sitting next to you would be breaking the fifth wall, for instance.
Awesome. Thank you, Steven.
Yes.
Because that was something that like I said, they referenced it so many times, and I was like, I do not know what this actually really means. But now it makes perfect sense, because it's literally the entire train is them. Well, how did Rick and Morty affect your life? How did Rick Sanchez screw you over?
If you've seen Community, there's a lot of great examples of meta with Abed. All the time he references TV shows, or how like they're in a TV show in specific episodes. He's kind of like the meta character in that show. So it's another good example of that.
Is it kind of also, maybe I'm going a little off topic, but isn't it like when TV shows reference a show within their show, or no?
Yes and no. It depends on the intent. If the intent is to point out certain tropes about the TV show that are present in their own show, yes, it could be meta. If it's just to like develop a character as like what they're interested in or something, maybe not. That's kind of a gray area. But meta usually means it's referring specifically to the medium itself. Like if you were
Okay.
playing a video game and there was a scene about making a video game, a meta commentary is when you use the platform or media or whatever itself to make a commentary on that same thing. So for example, another example I saw play a couple months ago when we could actually go outside and see plays. The whole thing was a meta commentary on theater because it was a play about students getting together to put on a play. So them talking
Okay.
about it, right? So you're watching a play, talking about how to put a play together. Like that is the idea of meta. That's the ideas that they're playing with in the show, in the episode. Like when we see him look at the story wheel, which is something that Dan Harmon, he didn't create it, but it's something that he swears by when people talk about like how he writes stuff, because he's a very well known for his writing skills. I think Steve's got something he wants to say. This is where you get into this is why people that do talk about meta things, it can get kind of headachy because there's different levels of meta, right? So on the top level is the one initially we were talking about, which is them referencing like writing TV shows. And then even deeper is when you look into the TV show and what are the characters doing, and that's what Steven's talking about. And I think I think the same thing is definitely a stand-in for the you know, like the industry people, but I think also for the fan base as well, as like expectations they put on the show. That's why I think this is such an awesome episode to have as like this new finale for or premiere for the second half of the season, because you have all this time watching the first episodes and these expectations of what you think is going to happen. And even through the first episodes of the season, they've shown like that they're trying to subvert what people expect. And like for me, the overall vibe of this episode is this is a cartoon. Yes, it's a smart cartoon and sometimes there's plot stuff, but in general, we want to just be able to do what we want and have fun. And that's kind of what it seemed like they were trying to get off, is ultimately to get off the train and to just be Rick and Morty and just do adventures and stuff, right? I thought it was really brilliant.
Oh yeah. One thing that got me a little stuck was the calling the train itself a metaphor, like, or not oh my gosh, not a metaphor, an anthology. Like the train is an anthology.
Yeah.
And to me, it's actually, now that I'm saying it out loud, it's starting to make sense, because the people on the train are telling the stories, and the stories are all an anthology of Rick Sanchez.
That was the thing of him saying that. That's why he was saying that it's a circle. It's not like a train that's like going one place, right, with a beginning and an end. The anthology, it's a circle. It's just repetitive A B C D over and over again.
Yes.
So they're trying to break the cycle.
Dang.
Great reference, by the way. If you haven't seen Snowpiercer, definitely my favorite of the train movies that were referenced.
Well, you can also see in the storytelling they have on the show, they repeat, even within this episode, they repeat certain themes multiple times over. Like they put the guy, the ticket guy outside, and he's experiencing his own mortal hell where he's cut in half. But then that repeats the same theory of an outside universe when it goes inside of him, and they have their own universe there with the aliens there making love, right? But then it also repeats the whole Jesus thing later on when we have them talking about religion, and that ends their universe, and then we have Jesus brought into it, which then ends that universe. So it's a cyclical repetition of different themes that are just tropes at this point.
Right, and they're just trying to bury people like us who watch the show and comb over it over a couple times and trying to piece together what's going to happen and what does this mean. And they're basically just like throwing things at the wall for fun and saying like, try and decipher that. Yeah. Which of these realities is going to happen now? How
right? Because I had to watch it a second time, like literally like before we even came on. I just finished it like 10 minutes prior to starting our stream. I watched it again because I got a little lost in it, and it wasn't until they broke the window when they were talking to Story Lord, and Rick tells Morty, he's like, Morty, don't worry about what's happening out there. None of that is canon. And I was like, oh, okay. So what's happening out there doesn't really matter. It's just more things to be thrown about. And
Yeah,
like,
this is like, this episode is definitely crafted for the harder core Rick and Morty fan. I would not recommend this to someone who's like never watched Rick and Morty before. This is not the episode to like get into the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would love
Great
I'm
to
gonna
see
I'll
somebody
pitch.
watch it for the first time. Rick and Morty. Watch this episode for the first time.
Yeah.
Never watching Rick and
And
Morty.
then and then
Good
and then tell
luck.
me what happened.
Right? Oh my
Yes.
God.
I'll pitch you guys a question though, because this is what I was curious about. If everything outside of the train is not canon, doesn't that mean the Rick and Morty that are small inside the train are actually the canon storytelling Rick and Morty, and them on the couch at the end are actually completely outside the story, and we have a new set of Rick and Morty for the next season?
That is actually one of the things I wanted to talk about, which is something that I was a little confused about, was because at the end, like, they get out of the story with the whole thing with like Jesus coming down, and they get out and he goes to like stop the train and it's a sticker and he's like, oh crap. And then it shows the bigger Rick and Morty outside of the train. And I was like, so wait, which Rick and Morty are the ones that we know and love and follow? But then after the credits, we see the whole thing with like the advertisement for the actual train from the Citadel of Ricks. So tell me, like, Rob, or you guys, tell me, what did you guys think? What do you feel about that one?
So with the whole thing with the train, I really think it's like one of those things. Like, for example, at the end of the episode, when they tell you when they tell you to go out and buy the train, like it's an actual product. I think it's one of those things just to see how much you can mess with your audience, and they will like hang on to it and go on the other on your word. Because myself, I'm not gonna lie. I had to look up to see if the train thing was real. I wasn't going to buy it, I promise. I just wanted to see if they actually took that jump, like, okay, we're going to make something so silly like this, but actually put a product out and see if people were buying it.
Oh,
And
no way.
I was wondering if that was going to happen. And sadly, they did not have the train.
No. What is the name of the train?
Anthology, no?
Anthology train? Like, I can see that easily being around people's Christmas trees like this upcoming year. Like that, I think they got some. Like, you got something there, Rob.
I think they could. I think they could put that out as a product. Now, I think people would actually go out and buy it, even if it were to like a novelty thing, just to have. Like,
I think it's called the Story Train.
Story Train.
Well, Story Train.
Whoopsie.
But that's the commentary on America right now that they inserted at the end of the episode, was basically making fun of us by saying the whole Story Train had those little levers for like marketability, relatability, and branding, right? And it's basically saying if you can create an episode of TV and a concept that Rick and Morty at least shares enough of those levels on each one, you can, through an episode of TV, create a product that people will buy without burning out the series. So the fact that the Story Train doesn't exist, but everyone who watched that episode went to see if it did, is kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy of their series, saying that if they can create an episode of TV that matches those three bars, people will buy a product related to it. And that's why Rick's going off at Morty. It's like, you're not even thinking, you're just spending. You're fulfilling your capitalistic duties by going out and just spending. Do it.
Which again is also something I have, like Toy Train from Citadel of Ricks. Like, what do you think they really nailed on the head with like this theme of like consumerism and capitalism, and then also that little like throw to coronavirus? Like, how do you guys feel about that one? Or did they nailed it?
That they got the coronavirus reference in there. I thought it was good though. Great presentation all around. I think it's cool that, I mean, it seems like canonically the Rick and Morty on the train are just just toys on the train, and they were like playing with the train. But also I think the whole point of the episode is that it doesn't matter. Like next week it's going to be Rick and Morty, and they're going to go do an adventure or something, and it's going to be entertaining. And I think that's all that really matters. And I think that's the point of the episode, on top of all of the other themes it's got.
Yeah, right.
I agree.
How about
with
you, Rob?
Nate. I agree with you, Nate. I think that's just, we have to take it for what it is. It's just an episode, and we can't read into it too far. And I think that's, like you said, that's the note. Don't read into it too far. It's just an episode. And with the whole coronavirus thing, this is another, like, throughout this episode, this episode has been conscious that it is a show. Even the show inside the show is conscious that it's a show. And when you throw the coronavirus in there at the end, that's the cherry. It's like, yes, you guys are watching a show. This is a show. You are at home with coronavirus right now. So remember the important things. This is a show, and coronavirus is real, you know?
Absolutely. And it really, they've always been nail on the head. Like, they know what they're doing. They keep it real. And even in like all the previous episodes of this season, it's like they keep it, they want us to be like, they know, I'm all tongue tied. It's like exactly what you said, Nate. It was like, they're going to have an adventure. You're going to enjoy it. It's going to be entertaining. It's going to be fun.
Yeah. I mean, people have been constantly clamoring for trying to get another interdimensional cable episode. And this was basically that, but like in a different way, and kind of breaking apart and examining what that would actually look like. And I just think it's hilarious that in the end, he's like, all right, cool. Now let's just watch interdimensional cable. After all of that, they're going to watch it after the episode ends. It's funny.
And right, because that was so funny. They were like, literally like, if we wanted to do this, like we just do another interdimensional cable. And they were just, that was it. One thing that really blew my mind was just the ticket please guy, which they call the ticket please guy. His like 3-month-long death of just like existing in this realm of dying, whereas and then it goes so far as to like the news is like if in his death world is like doing this thing, and then that's something that tripped me out, was just like, oh, so like this universe exists, even though it's not canon, this universe exists because this man is in it, right? You're looking too deep at something that's it's not meant for you to look like. That's the whole point of this episode, is that like it's funny. His family and him coming back and then being like, give me the tickets, and then he's like bleeding. Like, yeah, it's kind of gruesome, but it's funny, right? That's all that matters. It shouldn't matter if the alien world actually ceased existing because they stopped believing in the guy that was spinning, and why was he spinning with the blood. None of that matters. That's not what the show is about. It just is, and it's funny.
Yeah,
it is.
It's not. I mean, it's nice to think
repetition.
about theoretically, but
it's
yeah,
the same
and
repetition
like
as
Steve
when Jesus at the end decides to leave his universe, and it creates a bloodbath outside of the train being full of blood. Like, it's the same concept. Like, there's no reason why he would just start bleeding uncontrollably and be turned into a kid's ride in that universe. It's just, okay, now we've established this trope and this rule that once you leave the universe you're in, you bleed uncontrollably. Now Jesus leaves his, he bleeds uncontrollably. It's just, for this episode, it's funny, and that's what they decided to do. But because it's cyclical, and that's why it's the circle of storytelling, that's why it repeats itself.
Yeah, I just was really, it was, I mean, I know this show is very gory, but it was just so like, it was just literally a blood storm. And I was like, yeah, all right, that guy's dead. But then, so you guys, we got news and gossip. We have a special segment. Let's go into our special segment. Yeah, shall we?
Surely. So the special segment I have for you guys today, this is the first time I'm with this, and I want to try this with you guys as well. The AfterBuzz TV Rick and Morty trivia game. Do it for each episode. And you guys watch this like me, so you guys probably knew all the answers. Especially you, Nate. I have faith in you. I get this knowledge vibe from you. You're gonna know all the answers to these.
I'm not great at trivia though. I'm good at like concepts, details. I'm not great.
Okay, well, throughout the season, we're gonna be I'm gonna be keeping tally of who has the most points. Each question's worth a certain amount of points. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get into it. The first question is worth 3 points. Okay, so in the Morty purging episode, before I have to finish the rules. So whenever I ask a question, your name is your buzzer. So you say your name, and then I'll call you on you, and I'll tell you if you got the answer right. All right, so this first one, like I said, is
very
3
organized.
Points. And the question is, in the Morty purging episode, Rick played a 90s New Jack Swing song as he and Morty purged. What was the name of that song? Once again, your name is your buzzer. I'll say it. I'll ask the question again, just so you guys can think about it. And in case we got people in the chat, they can think about it too. In the Morty purging episode, Rick played a 90s New Jack Swing song as he and Morty purged. What was the name of that song? Do, 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 do. Okay.
I don't
I'll
know.
do it.
Is it okay, Nate?
Is it what?
Is it Poison?
No.
No, I know it's not, but
No. You have anything for me or no?
I got nothing.
Okay.
I literally was looking around for maybe there was an iPad around that I could cheat. I don't know.
Okay. So the name of the song is "It Feels Good" by Tony Tone. Because as they're killing people, it's like it feels good. Yeah. Yes.
It feels good.
I love that song. I loved it even more
That's a
after
great
hearing it in Rick and Morty. Though. I thought it was an amazing use of that song. Okay. So the next question is also
good question, by the way.
Oh, thank you. The next question is also worth 3 points. All right. So Dan Harmon, the co-creator of Rick and Morty, was also co-creator of this show based
Nate.
on... Go ahead.
Community.
No. Look, I'll ask the question again. Let me finish this time and you might get it.
I was trying to be slick. It didn't work.
So it's all good. So Dan Harmon, creator of Rick and Morty, was also a co-creator of this show based on a female comic. I'll give you a hint. She is a Jewish stand-up comedian known for raunchy, very raunchy material.
Steven.
Yeah, Steven, go ahead.
Is it Sarah Silverman?
Yes. You got that right, Steven. You're on the board with 3 points. Good.
Wait,
good
what
answer.
was the question?
Yeah, I thought we were looking for the name of a show, not a person.
Yes, the Sarah Silverman show. Yes.
Got it.
Never seen it. I didn't know that he did that. Good to know.
Yes, he was co-creator with Sarah Silverman. Yes, Sarah Silverman program. And it's a crazy show, crazy raunchy material. And now looking back at it, like, okay, that was definitely Dan Hart. Now I can see it because I didn't
see his
pay
influence for
attention
sure.
to it.
Yeah.
I highly suggest you guys check it out.
I'll have to watch it. I haven't seen that.
So the final question of today, and this one's worth 4 points, and it's a little bit of a difficult question. The actor who portrays Jerry Smith in Rick and Morty was a member of which sketch comedy show? I'll give you choices. There are 3 choices. A, Mad TV. B, Saturday Night Live. C, The Kroll Show. Once again, I'll ask that question so you guys can think.
Nate, I'm going to say A, Mad TV.
No, that is
right.
incorrect. You can go for the steal here. You can go
Cody,
here,
and
Cody.
I'll say The Kroll Show.
Oh, no.
No?
You missed it too. It was Saturday Night Live. You guys always go with the most famous one. Rule of thumb with trivia. Always go with the most famous one. Yeah. So yeah.
I feel like that's usually The Trap is the most famous one.
Right?
Yes, he was a cast member off and on from around 98 to 2004, 2006.
Who? What's his name?
Jerry Purnell. Or no, excuse me, not Jerry Purnell.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, not Jerry Purnell. I forgot his last name. I had it too. But yeah.
Ed Parnell, I think.
Ed Purnell.
Ed Parnell.
Yeah. Got it.
He does so
many.
He does Cyril Figgis and Archer too.
Yeah.
Oh, is it Chris Parnell? Chris
Yeah,
Parnell. We're all dumb.
He's been around for a long time.
He's known by many names.
Yes. Well, thank you guys for trying your hardest.
I have to brush up on my trivia.
Yeah, seriously.
I'll go deeper with Rick and Morty. All this season, it's gonna be trivia about people in the show and surrounding the show. So you guys are gonna have to do your homework.
Seriously. Thanks, Rob. That was fun. I mean, I didn't know anything, but that was fun.
Next time.
Nate, do you have any news for us this week?
Yeah, just a couple things. If you are enjoying the season so far, they're doing really cool inside the episode little clips. If you go to Adult Swim on YouTube, They've even got one talking about this episode, talking about how it kind of
Oh,
got
yeah.
out of their hands. So definitely check that out. Probably help explain some things for you. And also Justin Roiland, who is the co-creator along with Dan Harmon, does the voices and a lot of the animation. He's got a new show coming out called Solar Opposites. It's coming out very soon, next few days, May 8th. It's going to be on Hulu. It's about a family of aliens from a better world who must take refuge in Middle America. They disagree on whether this is awful or awesome. So sounds pretty funny. The animation style looks just like Rick and Morty. I'm sure it'll be probably pretty different in tone though, given it doesn't have Dan Harmon involved. But yeah, I'm pretty excited to check that out. Should be pretty funny.
Yeah, I've been seeing commercials for that. It looks good, and like, I mean, you can hear their voices. It's for sure all of them except Dan, obviously, like working together, and I'm sure it's gonna be hilarious.
Yeah, I definitely want to check it out. I saw the trailer for it, and looks really good. Looks funny, and it reminds me so much of Rick and Morty already. So I'm like I'm ready to watch it.
Yeah, hopefully it's still funny and good, but it has its own identity and isn't just kind of like a Rick and Morty ripoff, because that would be just
Right?
True.
That's something I thought the same thing. I'm like hoping that it's not just like, hey, we're doing the same thing but slightly different over here. Come check it out. But they're clever, they're smart, they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
But also, I just want to thank our viewers and our listeners and anybody watching for making us the ESPN of of TV Talk. We love that you guys are watching and listening to us. So give us 5 stars, give us some likes, give us some love, because without y'all listening and watching, it would just be us 3 talking nerd stuff and being here with ourselves. So like without you guys, like we need you, and we're very thankful for you, and we love you. So thank you, and give us some love back if you can.
Please.
And you guys, so I wanted to ask you guys, so if there's anything else you guys noticed. I know like there was some, especially this episode, you know, the rule of 3s. We have the cum gutters, which we briefly talked about before we came on. But I just want to, but between that one and just like anything else that like really popped out with you, Nate.
I mean, not anything specifically. I just thought it was really well crafted. I definitely think this is going to go down as one of the better episodes. One of the fan favorites for sure. Yeah, just a great way. It really got me amped for like watching the rest of the season.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. How about you, Rob?
So I never heard the word cum gutters before I watched this episode. I still haven't went on Urban Dictionary yet, but I will after we finish here to see what that's all about. And there's one thing that I wanted to discuss that I saw.
Oh yeah,
the whole thing with Jesus coming in and how that changed everything, and like kind of it seemed like it like metaphorically like killed the story. And I was wondering if that was what they were going for with their. Once again, I know I'm probably reaching and not just enjoying the show for what it is, a comedy cartoon, but I noticed that like once Jesus was in the picture, then everything started to change. And then I guess in that world, it defied like all logic in the world. And so it screwed up the story. I don't know if that was their cheeky way of saying, that kind of stuff religion would screw up a story or not. But nonetheless, it's definitely interesting and risque. And it's totally in the wheelhouse of Dan Harmon.
Well, I thought it was so funny because it's like it's such an irony. They're like, oh, just accept the Lord and he will come to you and you will be free and safe and live forever. And it's like and Morty even says it. Like he's like, I don't like cheap shots. I don't want to take low blows. Like just felt really, and it's just like, but he's like, but Jesus literally saved us. Like, how could that be? And it's just like, you guys are too clever for your own good. Like,
yeah, it's more meta commentary. Basically, the Deus Ex, literally God coming from the sky to solve an unsolvable problem. It's a nice, nice double entendre commentary.
Oh.
You get to make another meta story commentary about writing, and then also poke at Christians.
But yeah, no, I'm glad you said something because that's something I had in my notes too. And then my notes are kind of scattered, so I kind of missed it. But that was something that I was like, dang, like They're like too clever. But you guys, so before we chime out here, where can you guys be found on social media? Where can the viewers and listeners catch more of you? Rob, tell me more.
Yes, so you guys can catch me on Instagram at Rob Stilo. That's STEELO. And if any of you guys have any predictions, any tea, any cool stories or questions, you can invade my DMs, no problem. And if you are a fan of The Masked Singer, you can catch me there on Thursdays at 7.
And Nate, how about you?
Guys, you can find me everywhere that people can be found at Dog Like Nate.
Dog Like Nate. And I'm Cody Epperson. You can catch me on Instagram at Cody Epp, CODYYEPP, and on Twitter at Cody_Epp. And this is kind of the opposite of how we usually chime out here, but Rob, you're right. I totally missed predictions. I feel like because I kind of missed it because like, I don't know how to predict this show. Do you guys?
I don't have any, especially not after this episode. I think it kind of be like we missed the whole episode if we tried to make predictions. The whole thing is like, don't try to predict us.
Right.
Exactly.
All right.
I have nothing for it. There's no. After watching this episode, I don't know what to predict anymore. I'm a character in the show. Is this real or is this not real? You know.
Right. Well, thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for talking with me. Thank you all for listening and watching. And we will be back next week, Monday at 7 o'clock instead of 5 o'clock.